Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. Hare Krishna. Very happy to be back in ISKCON Pretoria. I see that everyone's awake. Yes. They say we are very qualified in this world to correct. However, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur says that first get the log out of your eye before you remove the speck in your brother's eye. In this case, this is correct correction. This is not ISKCON Pretoria. How dare you call this ISKCON Pretoria? ISKCON Santin Yatra Ki. Some energy is needed in the process of bhakti. Sometimes when we check before we start the class, the Hare Krishna mantra check, you find that the energy is a bit low. We're about to start this class. Okay, what's going to happen? So today is not the exact day of appearance of His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, Swami Prabhupada. It was on Friday. 2 days ago. So February 6th, in fact, it was exactly to the day, February 6th, he appeared in 1874, February 6th. So it was 152 years anniversary of his divine appearance. So tick-tock, time moves. So today we will discuss a bit about the transcendental life appearance of this stalwart Vaishnava and try to examine the context in which he appeared, look at his mission, and also look at how that concerns us and how we can gather inspiration from his transcendental life. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurud Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanang Pavenebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We'll read a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is from the 11th canto, the 20th chapter, entitled Pure Devotional Service Surpasses Knowledge and Detachment. We will read text 17. So I'll chant the verse and we'll do the word for word together. Nrideham adyam sulabam sudulabam plavam sukalpam gurukanadharam mayanukulena nabashvateritang puman bhavabdim nataret saatmaha. Please repeat. Nri, human. Deham, body. Adyam, the source of all favorable results. Sulabam, effortlessly obtained. Sudulabam, although impossible to obtain, even with great endeavor. Plavam, a boat. Sukalpam, extremely well suited for its purpose. Guru, having the spiritual master. Kanadharam, as the captain of the boat. Maya, by me. Anukulena, with favorable. Nabashwata, winds. Iritang, impelled. Puman, a person. Bhava, of material existence. Abdim, the ocean. Na, does not. Taret, cross over. Sa, he. Atmaha, the killer of his own soul. Translation and purport by the servants of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktisiddhanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki. The human body, which can award all benefit in life, is automatically obtained by the laws of nature, although it is a very rare achievement. This human body can be compared to a perfectly constructed boat, having the spiritual master as the captain and the instructions of the personality of Godhead as favorable winds impelling it on its course. Considering all these advantages, a human being who does not utilize his human life to cross the ocean of material existence must be considered the killer of his own soul. Purport. The human body, which is obtained after passing through many inferior forms, is created in such a way that it can award the highest perfection of life. A human being is supposed to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the bona fide spiritual master. Is the appropriate guide for such service. The causeless mercy of Lord Krishna is compared to favorable winds that help the boat of the body to ply smoothly on the course back home, back to Godhead. Lord Krishna gives his personal instructions in Vedic literature, speaks through the bona fide spiritual master, and encourages, warns, and protects his sincere devotee from within the devotee's heart. Such merciful guidance of the Lord moves a sincere soul quickly on the path back to Godhead. But one who cannot understand that the human body is a suitable boat for crossing the ocean of material existence will see no need to accept a captain in the form of the spiritual master, and will not at all appreciate the favorable winds of the Lord's mercy. He has no chance of achieving the goal of human life. Acting against his own self-interest, he gradually becomes the killer of his own soul. This verse helps us to begin our discussion, our meditation on such a transcendental, exalted personality, spiritual master, Acharya in our line. The science of Krishna consciousness is given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dhammam stu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Religious principles are enunciated by the Supreme Person. Srila Prabhupada would say, you cannot manufacture religion at home. And we say, of course, many people manufacture their own principles at home. So it's your khichdi, you eat it. The results of such manufactured religion is not the supreme destination. And so we are beginning by understanding that what the Acharyas appear to give is what the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself desires to give to all of us. He's parts and parcels, his children. So Lord Krishna, observing the joy, observing the transcendental absorption of Srimati Radharani, in his personal service, he estimates that she is relishing joy which is 10 million times than the joy that he experiences. And because he's the supreme enjoyer, he is Rajashekar, the king of the relisher of all mellows of love. He's always looking for newer and newer avenues of enjoyment. And please, let us not become envious of Krishna's enjoyment. Because we are trying to enjoy and we are struggling. And therefore, in this world, we become envious of each other, thinking someone else might be enjoying more than me. And they say, you don't know what others are going through. Everyone may pose as though everything is going well, it's all good. Everyone's posting regularly, smiling and waving. But what is going on within the heart is that every living being is under the whips of material nature. Material nature means three main miseries. Tell me if you have escaped them so that I can hold your lotus feet. I need that help. Adidaivika klesha means that there are miseries coming from the demigods, higher controllers, climate change, as they say, whatever that is. Hare Krishna. It's too hot, it's too cold, whatever it may be, we're struggling. Adhyatmika, one is struggling from their own mind. This is now the biggest business. Psychiatry, psychologists, they're making a killing. Why? Because people are struggling with their minds. The body is obvious. Everyone's struggling. And then there's struggles that are coming adibhotika from other living entities. People won't give you a break. The supervisor at work, the spouse, the government, the taxmen, they're giving us miseries. So this illusion that somebody is enjoying to a point where we want to be envious of them is just that, illusion. Everyone is struggling because everyone is under these conditions. However, the transcendental personalities have none of this enviousness. Nimatsaranam satam. These devotees are free from the propensity of envy. What to speak of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? all that he does is completely under the Ladini Shakti pleasure potency. It is pristine in nature, there is no fault in it. It has never become in contact with material nature. That is the original place where we belong. If we are to envy someone, let us envy those in a positive sense who are directly engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord. So, Lord Krishna, Supreme Enjoyer, if we put aside our envy, we understand that when he enjoys, he gives enjoyment and pleasure to his servitors. And what is his enjoyment? It is to increase the happiness of his devotees. When Krishna sees that the devotees are drowning in the love that flows naturally from the heart through devotional service, he is encouraged. And therefore he performs so many activities to encourage the devotees. Paritranaya sadhunam. He comes here to please the devotees by enacting so many pastimes. So the Lord, seeing the pleasure of Srimati Radharani, he desires to understand that love. He desires to understand what is it about him, what is it that attracts the heart of his devotee. And what is this love that they possess which steals his own mind? And therefore, Radha Krishna, Nai Anya. We get Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Radha and Krishna combined is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, who has now become imbued with the mood of Srimati Radharani. So Radharani is the topmost devotee. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to experience the mood and the love of the topmost devotee. And not only that, that is his personal business, what he wants to do. But he has a mission for our benefit. He is not thinking, I shall enjoy by myself, but he's thinking that all these living entities who are struggling under my external energy, Maya, I want to flood everywhere with this love of God. So see the heart of Krishna. Those who are least qualified by being born in Kali Yuga, by being envious of the Supreme Lord, who are turning our faces away from him, he wants to give the highest thing, which is Vraja Prema, or the love of Radha, Radha Prema. And so Mahaprabhu has come. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to spread this good fortune for everyone, he engages his own devotees. So 6 Goswamis are there after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuno Sadharma Samstapako Lokanam Hitakarino. They study all the scriptures scrutinizingly. They extract the essence of the scriptures with the mood that let us make it the most accessible and easy process for the people of Kali Yuga to connect to love of God. This is what Mahaprabhu wants, and his servitors want to give the same thing. This is parampara. Srila Prabhupada said, the mango is at the top of the tree. If it's nice and ripe and sweet, if you want to get it down to the ground, then you don't just take one enthusiastic guy to shake the tree. Someone should climb the tree, pick it, preferably give it to someone from hand to hand and bring it all the way down to the ground. Therefore, you guarantee the whole mango not spoilt by falling on the ground and breaking. So from the 6 Goswamis, they revive the pastime places of the Supreme Lord. and they extract from the Vedas. Who will study the Vedas in their completeness? Who will understand the teachings of the Vedas? We don't have the lifespan, nor the intelligence, nor access to all this literature. So they are not sleeping, not because they're drinking Red Bull, but because they are drinking the pleasure of service to Krishna. They are absorbed in this service. And they've given all this literature. But in due course of time, everything becomes lost. It deteriorates. Therefore, evam parampara praptam imam rajasayo vidu sakalinihan mahata yoga nasta parantapa. Lord Krishna says. We come to a time where the Acharya Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he's on the planet, but he cannot find the true followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The environment is such that so many deviant philosophies have taken root. In the name of Gaudiya Vaishnavism is a lot of debauched activity. That those who were learned and cultured considered Vaishnavas to be low-class people with bad habits. And he cannot even find a copy of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now this is Bengal, the land of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you cannot find Chaitanya Charitamrita there, then you can understand. It's like, people were complaining. One man said, during COVID, if you had even one can of Castle Lager, you were like a king. What to speak of a quart of He said, alcohol was like gold if you had it. Everyone was your friend. What to speak of a bottle of spirits? I was not here during COVID, by some good fortune. But I guess the government shut down the alcohol system. So if you were to hear that such things didn't exist, people would be shocked. How is it possible that you cannot find? But he could not find Chaitanya Charitamrita. That is how fallen the condition was. However, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, being also a liberated soul, one of the maidservants of the gopis of Vrindavan, a Manjari, also is of a melted heart and is of the same heart as the Supreme Lord to benefit society. So he was investigating, he was writing, and he was also praying that he needs help because Bhakti Vinod Thakur was a family man, a magistrate. He had about 13 children. Yes, you have a long way to go before you quote Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Sometimes for householder life, immediately. Even Bhakti Vinod Thakur. But Bhakti Vinod Thakur is another category. Yes, even just materially, if you were to look at him like that. Such a big household. So he felt he cannot do all this work. And he had a dream. He was living in Jagannath Puri at the time. Lord Jagannath said to him, Baba, it seems that you have become overly engaged in all your magistrate work. Who will preach my Sankirtan? Who will preach the glories of Harinam? And Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, well, if you want this to happen, then you need to send me help. You need to send me help. And in that prayerful mood, very soon he got a son. And he considered that this son was a ray of Vishnu. He was given this son by the mercy of Lord Jagannath. And sure enough, when the child was being announced to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was told that it is not my mercy, Jagannath said, but it is the mercy of Bimala Devi. Learn from the Lord to give credit to one's consort or spouse. That the mercy is not mine, but it's the mercy of my consort. And the child was given the name Bimala Prasad because after this dream and after receiving the prasadam of Bimala Devi, then this child was born. When he was 3 months, there was a Ratha Yatra that took place because they were living practically on Grand Road. Jagannath Puri, there's the main street where the Ratha Yatra takes place. Bhaktivinoda Thakur being a magistrate, so he had a home in that main street. Somehow or the other, the chariot came and it stopped in front of his home. It would not move. For 3 days, it would not move. Chaitanya Charitamrita, we see something like that. Sometimes the chariot would not move. They would bring in strong men, nothing. Bring in elephants to pull it, it would not move. Because Lord Jagannath is the Lord of the universe and everything is happening according to his will. Not that because we are pulling, it is moving. Because he's allowing it. And Lord Jagannath would simply want to wait to watch the dancing of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would give a full show to Krishna. And then when he was happy after dancing for Krishna, just by his small pinky, he would push and the chariot would move. So we see here, the chariot is not moving. And so the wife of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Mother Bhagavati, took the chance to bring the child before Lord Jagannath. Took him on the chariot, and the child was reaching out for the lotus feet of the Lord, and the Lord gave his own garland. Garland fell on the child. So they could understand that Lord Jagannath was giving his blessings. This is no ordinary occurrences. When he was about 4 years old, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, Bimala Prasad, his father was offering some mangoes to the deities. Before the offering, the child naturally, mangoes are nice. He took one mango, he ate, and the father chastised. You are an offender. How have you taken the mangoes that were meant to be offered to the Lord? And this boy, he made a vow at that time that yes, I'm an offender and I've tried to enjoy the property of the Lord, and so I will never eat a mango again in my life. A Drida Vrata. Very determined personality. So he learned Bhagavad Gita from his father. By the time he was 6, he had memorized Bhagavad Gita. So just to show us, the caliber of personality. The scriptures say that he is Nayana Mani Manjari in his liberated eternal identity. Means he's an associate of the gopis, and her service is to rub this red lac on the lotus feet of Shrimati Radharani. How exalted is that? It is beyond our pay grade to have such intimate service of the divine couple. So such a child had appeared in the house of Bhaktivinoda Thakur to a pure devotee whose heart was simply dedicated to propagating the gifts of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So his father, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who published so many books on Vaishnava literature, is considered as the seventh Goswami. So he's prayed for by such a pure devotee. He's trained by such a pure devotee father. And he himself is not a local boy. He's a transcendental personality. And he has come with the mission to assist in the spread of devotional service at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And therefore, his activities should be seen from this perspective. He's famous as Lion Guru because we read his pranam mantra, Namaste Gauravani Shimutaye Dinatarine. Gauravani is the instructions of Lord Chaitanya. That is the embodiment of the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Rupanuga Viruda Apasiddhanta Dvanta Harine. That he is chaste follower of Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami is the Rasa Acharya, the head of the six Goswamis, means he is the expert in the science of loving devotional service. He is the teacher of what is to be experienced on the path of devotional service, and especially what is the essence of prema. This is Bhaktisiddhanta. And he is Viruda Apasiddhanta Dvanta Harine, very strong in decimating Apasiddhanta, any philosophies that are deviant from the conclusions of Rupa Goswami. And so we see in his life somebody who was like a devastator. He could not tolerate anything less than the conclusions of pure devotional service. And so Srila Bhaktisiddhanta in many ways performed many pastimes. We will look at his heart in terms of when we say sometimes he was heavy and sometimes he was sweet. We see that later on he had disciples that he wanted to send to England to preach. And when he was explaining his mission there, he said, I envision a hostel where the boys and the girls are staying. Already some of his disciples, they're like brahmanas from India, already this is blowing their mind. What? Boys and girls, same hostel? Anyway, because he's such an acharya, he says some of them will be definitely non-veg, so I see that we have some restaurant next door that is catering for them. And so one of his disciples he just couldn't take it. But Guru Maharaj, I think that this policy will introduce contamination in our own mud. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta says to him, well, this is not whimsical. I decided this thousands of lifetimes ago. So as you're trying to compute, what acharya is this? Who are we following here? What's going on? He loves us more than our own parents, more than our own father. That although he himself is so fixed and strong in following, but he's so liberal to pick us up from our conditioned state. Because there is no envy in the heart of a pure devotee. His true suffering is that the conditioned souls are suffering. They are Krishna's parts and parcels. So someone commented, oh, he must have been very sweet. And Sridhar Maharaj responded, who? Prabhupada? Yes. Well, he had the sweetness of Vrindavan within, and it could only be detected within. So, oh, he's sweet, he's so loving, so liberal, but he's not Mr. Smile and Wave funny guy cracking jokes. When it is necessary, like a thunderbolt. He had one big donor who came to give, and then Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur said, I will not accept this money because you are not a follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, if we don't get this money from you, it's not a problem. Rather close the temple than to accept money from a charlatan like you. That's when you leave ISKCON. Some devotee tells you this. I thought I came to a sadhu, what is this? One side, he's trying to build the temple in Bagh Bazaar. They estimated that maybe today's money, we need $1 million. So Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur tells his disciples it's time to go and collect to build this temple. And then a day later, the disciples come back very happy to tell Bhaktisiddhanta that, oh, Guru Maharaj, you wanted $1 million, but our God brother has given 3 million. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is annoyed. I didn't want that. No, Prabhupada, you didn't hear. He gave 3, you wanted 1, he's given 3 million. He said, that was not my desire. So they were perplexed. 1 million, we heard. This is 3 million, what's going on? He said, my desire was that if 1 million people would give 1 rupee each, then 1 million people would get the mercy of building this temple. So, the thinking and the activities of a pure devotee are not easy to decipher. Vaishnavera kriya mudra navigeya bhujaya. His thinking, his activities are not easy to estimate materially. And therefore, many people made an enemy of him, not understanding that he was on the extreme side of love. See, sometimes love is fiery. To protect one's beloveds. There was a case of a mother who jumped into a pit of crocodiles at some zoo because the child fell in. To protect the child, she forgot about her own safety to get the child. So if we look at it from a common sense, then you see it is not common. It doesn't make sense. But affection and love makes people act in ways that are uncommon, sometimes seemingly crazy. Therefore, people even in the mature plan, they sing songs like Crazy in Love. So, love of Krishna has no selfishness. So the pure devotee will go to any extremes to serve the Lord and to serve the Lord's part and parcels. He is collecting money because of drought. There was a famine in India, and so Bhaktisiddhanta told his brahmacharis also, you go out and you collect that you want to help people because of drought and famine. And people, oh, this is good, they gave all the money. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta used the money to establish the printing press and to print books on Vaishnava theology. So yes, as you sit also in the moral heart that you have, you can have your own judgment. What type of devotee is this? Transcendence is transcendence. Unless one is qualified transcendentally, who can understand these activities? As he grew older, he became a big scholar of Jyotish, astrology. In fact, it is said this Surya Siddhanta, he made powerful commentary. But within India, the British were also trying to influence with the Western style of teaching about the cosmology. And they had co-opted one big scholar, Sri Vapudev Shastri. He became prominent, he had many disciples. But those who were following Sri Siddhanta Saraswati, he was given that title, they thought, you please come now and save the Puranic vision of Vedanta and Jyotish. So, his own Guru Maharaj didn't want him to do it, but he went. He debated the scholar of this Vapudev, and he decimated all their arguments. That it said that Acharya, in hearing all the arguments of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he involuntarily passed stool and urine right there at the debate. So, when you say lion guru, if you have ever heard a lion roar, you can try to understand what was the vibration of this pure devotee. That when his whole reputation, his whole philosophy, he was defeated, his bowels let go. Hare Krishna. His Guru Maharaj is Srila Gauranga Das Babaji Maharaj. Babaji Maharaj, if you can't figure out what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur is doing, then definitely cannot figure out what Gauranga Das Babaji Maharaj is up to. Because those who are off the bodily platform, those who are transcendental, they don't live their lives based on the principles of sense gratification, which means how to protect this body and how to enjoy this body. They live from the platform of Atma, of the soul. So, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was told by his own father, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, now you need a guru, if you rewind back. And he suggested Gauranga Das Babaji Maharaj. So now Bhaktisiddhanta is a big scholar, so intelligent, so erudite. Gauranga Das Babaji Maharaj is considered like an illiterate man, just wandering around Navadvip. So he approached Babaji Maharaj that I need shelter at your lotus feet. Babaji Maharaj said, well, sorry, I do not give any initiation. Anyway, you are such a big scholar and I'm an illiterate man. What can I teach you? And he laughed and walked away. And so Bhaktisiddhanta came again, tried to ask, please, without your shelter, I am nothing. Please accept me as your student. Gauranga Das Babaji said, look, let me just go ask Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I'll ask Gauranga and see what they say. Then I'll let you know. And he laughed and walked away. Next time he saw him again, he was asking, and he told him, I forgot to ask Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Now he was becoming very desperate. Came back, begging. And then Gauranga Das Babaji Maharaj said, because you are so eager, and because you have passed my tests, I wanted to take care of that false ego that comes with all this scholarship that you have. So he accepted him. He was his only disciple. And when he was crossing the Ganga some few months ago, later with some people, and they were also trying to assess the situation. You're such a powerful, learned person. How is it your Guru Maharaj is Gauranga Das? He's just loitering around. So Bhaktisiddhanta said, you fools, you can hear all this clanking and clicking of this boat. Yes. He said, but you cannot hear nor even see the battery of this boat. He said, without the battery, this boat will not work. So what you are seeing me do is not my own doing. My Guru Maharaj sits in Navadvip and he is absorbed in serving Radha and Krishna, and it is from his strength that I'm able to do this. Gauranga Das Babaji Maharaj gave him instructions at initiation. Number one, he said, do not have any followers. Don't take any disciples. Number two, don't accept anything from anyone. Number three, don't go to Calcutta. Because Calcutta, I considered this was the home of Kalima, the home of Maya. So then, Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, he opened over 64 mats across India. Did he disobey the orders of the spiritual master? He had so many disciples, no? And famous of which is our own, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Prabhupada. We see how Lokanath Goswami, he doesn't want to take disciples. And Narottam Das Thakur is trying everything to get shelter. Eventually, Lokanath Goswami accepts Narottam Das Thakur. Narottam Das Thakur goes on to make over 100,000 disciples. The strength of a devotee is not his own. The strength of a devotee comes from the blessings of the spiritual master. That spiritual master who is at his lotus feet of his own guru in disciplic succession carries the mercy of the Lord, carries Krishna in his heart, Govinda Vishram. And by that dedication of guru, he can transmit the grace of Gauranga to the disciple. Lokanath, one disciple, he makes one that makes 100,000. Who made these disciples? Gauranga Das Babaji, he's sitting in Navadvip, wandering down the Ganga. He makes one disciple. That one disciple makes so many. And one of those disciples that he made has created our good fortune and the good fortune of the entire world. So, when we hear that one must surrender to a spiritual master and serve the Lord according to the directions of the spiritual master, then consider that the Guru is not just whom we are looking at with our eyeballs. The Guru is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the gifts that the Supreme Lord wants to give, he has engaged many, many souls who are his servitors to give. And so here we heard in Bhagavatam, we have a favorable situation, human body. It's rare. 8.4 million species of life. 400,000 are the human species. The math says it's 5% of all species. And in the human form of life, some people never get into any dharma. Some are lip service followers. Some are following karma, jnana, mystic path. So very rare one comes to devotion. And out of those who come to devotion, how many actually accept the order of the spiritual master as their life and soul? Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur gave 64 rounds in his mat to be considered worthy of being called Vaishnava in his mat, chanting 64 rounds daily. We are qualified to be his followers? Completely disqualified. Yes. Then Srila Prabhupada comes considering our condition and says 16 rounds. We are chanting 16 rounds? Well, when I can, when I find the time, life is stressful. So such a person, when they have the human body, they have such acharyas, such scriptures, favorable winds. If one does not take this opportunity to cross over the ocean of material existence, he is considered Atmaha, killer of his own soul. There is no other enemy in this calculation, is that we are killers of our own soul. If we are considering so many other enemies, that is our own illusion. Bhagavatam is saying similar thing, that there is no greater obstacle to one's advancement than to consider other subject matters more pleasing than his own self-realization. So we live in a world where there's so many things that are being put before our eyes, and if we are not taking shelter, meaning put ourselves under discipline of a devotee. If we don't put ourselves under the discipline of a devotee, this mind that is already in trouble with Maya, it will not save us. So our heritage is such stalwart Vaishnavas, and they've come to give us that type of love sometimes which feels like hate, aggression, indifference, fanaticism. But you don't deal with a criminal by trying to flatter him. You have to use stronger weapons than the criminal to deal with him. And the doctor, he doesn't come only to give massage. Sometimes he has to cut the tumor out. That is the benefit of having Guru. If Guru doesn't operate and cut, it's unfortunate. And if Guru is already cutting so nicely, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Prabhupada, please let us not shy away from hearing such words. And his own disciple, sweet as he is, also lays it down very nicely, very nicely. Discipline is what means discipleship. And when we don't have anyone disciplining us, we will be that child who was sentenced to hanging. Because the aunts thought, oh, this boy's parents died when he was young. Now, as the aunt, I will take care of this child. And because he lost his parents, I will just coddle him and spoil him and let him do whatever he wants. He lost his parents. So the boy became spoiled by bad association. Then he became a criminal, and he was caught, sentenced to be hung. When he was there, they give you one more wish. He asked for his aunt. Aunt is crying. Oh, boy came and to whisper something in the ear, but bit the ear of the aunt. Imagine she's completely devastated, my boy is going to be killed. And oh, how sweet, he has some last words for me. Puts her ear there, and this man, Mahaprasada Govinde. So the boy became her guru. That this so-called love you were showing me, you let me spoil my life. You never chastised me, you never corrected me. Look where I am now. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, his mercy, his kindness is sometimes bittersweet. But those who are interested in reforming themselves, we will really benefit from hearing from him and his followers. So therefore, let's read these books and read them with the mood of becoming improved by what we are reading. And especially let us take shelter of those devotees who will correct us, guide us, instruct us out of love, not those who will just simply flatter us. We have to end on a sweet. Otherwise, it's depression loka. So let us...
In Bengal, Maharaj, it's a chutney.
And with chutney. I'm a Gujarati. I start with sweets and I end with sweets. We're looking for a sweet, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, let's see. So in his mat, of course, serious, everything serious. Nobody really ever saw Prabhupada smiling. Just let that sink in. Do you know anyone that you've never seen smiling?
Not this Prabhu, yeah.
Okay. It came to his ears how one of the brahmacharis was sick. So, he came downstairs and the brahmacharis were just a bit concerned, okay, why is Prabhupada coming to ashram? So one ran to kind of tidy it up a little bit more. Then the others had gone out, some were still there, the cooks, pujaris. And he came and sat next to this brahmachari to ask him, has a doctor come to check on you? Are they giving you the right type of prasadam? And then when he left, he told them, don't tell anyone I came to this room. He instructed the boys. But we have this anecdote that means the devotees did tell. Because they said in his questioning of the boy that they could see his eyes becoming wet, almost with tears for concern. Jai Shri Radha Raman Ki Jai. That he valued his devotees and their service. That he was not callous to their health. Of course, familiarity breeds contempt. And so he also has to protect his disciples from familiarity. Therefore, he always was in acharya mode. But many times he was seen in kirtan, shedding tears in kirtan before the devotees. He comes to check on his disciple for their health. So he gave us all these gifts of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who gathered everything that was lost. he gave us this gift of Srila Prabhupada. And everything that is precious to us as devotees within this movement. He established Gaudiya Math. They are also now everywhere around the world. This is the gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And through the parampara, it has come also to South Africa. So we meditate on his love, which was like a lion's taking care of her cubs. Lioness is also... And if we get the chance, please read the 64 instructions he left behind for people residing in Gaudiya Math, meaning in the ashram of Krishna consciousness. Can I read 5 of them? Just before, this is a free program, so. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Also with Google, you could just find it quickly for me, somebody. Otherwise, paging this gadget is like madness. All right. So number 1, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions in Shikshastakam, Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, is the only motto of the Gaudiya Math. You understand that one? Sankirtan. That's the whole point of this Hare Krishna movement, is that we are chanting and hearing the holy name of Krishna and distributing. Number 2, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, is the only enjoyer. Everyone and everything else is the object of his enjoyment. 3, anyone who does not serve Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is ignorant and a killer of himself. 4, to learn to tolerate is one of the most important responsibilities of those living in the Math. 5, Rupanuga devotees offer all glory to the original source instead of depending on their own strength. So we will leave the rest for you to read. I also was happy to read again some of them. But powerful meditations which inspire from our hearts that forget the goal of life, again, the thirst to improve, to focus, to dedicate. This is his eternal mercy on us. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Goswami Prabhupada ki. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna.